Hey there, David Benjatschek, your authenticity coach here. This video blog is on a question that I frequently get. I just got back from two workshops, one with a municipality just south of Edmonton in northern Alberta, and the other with a manufacturing company just outside of Humboldt, Saskatchewan, with young leaders and supervisors in their organizations. I want to tackle this question because frankly, in the 14 years that I've been crossing North America doing this thing called leadership coaching, I get this question a lot. Here it is. It's what do I do when I don't agree with the changes that are coming down? I'm leading a team. I need to get them to do the things that need to be done for these changes, but I don't necessarily agree with it. How do I tackle that? I think it's a great question. I think it's a question that all of us will need to answer. If you're a leader or supervisor, you're never, I think, going to be in 100% agreement with everything that your company is asking you to do. You're going to have questions, you're going to have doubts, you're going to have frustrations. Change management is not a simple thing. So here's my take on it. One of the things I don't think you should do is just whine about the fact that you don't agree with the changes in front of your team. And frankly, I've had not many, but a couple supervisors that have gone in the room and said, "Can you believe what they're asking us to do? I guess we need to do it." Yeah, boss, I gotta follow you. No. Not quite. Not a great approach. The other approach that I don't suggest is lying. I don't, because if you try to get up in front of your team and say, "Team, this is going to be the greatest thing since sliced bread. Can you follow? And I need your commitment on this." I think the disagreement's going to show up, not necessarily in your words, but very obviously in your tone, in your body language, and you're going to lose the trust and respect of the people around you. So what do? My solution is this, and I recommend this to all the leaders in our workshops, is you find out whether you can commit or not. And if you can commit, you commit to the team and ask them to commit as well. What do I mean by commit? I mean, we've all heard the word, but I think it's useful to kind of dig a little bit deeper and look at a definition of commitment. Most of you would say something like, well, doing what you said you were going to do, or giving it 100% effort, and I don't disagree with any of those definitions. I just want to add on a sentence to it that I think is really useful. Committing is doing what you said you were going to do, despite what you think and what you feel. You see, I think you can very honestly and very truthfully get up in front of your team and say you're going to commit to something, even though in your feelings you have some reservations, you have some questions, you have some frustrations, you have some disagreements. How do you decide whether you're going to commit or not? The question is up front, this particular initiative, how important is it? And importance should define whether you can commit or not. If it truly is important, i.e. the consequence of going along with it is something that's just going to give you heartache day after day after day, if it pushes your ethical boundaries, if it pushes something inside of you that you just could not live with, then I'm going to ask you to do a favor to yourself and to your boss by sitting in a meeting and going, help me understand, make sure I understand what you're asking me to do. I cannot commit to that. And let the chips fall where they may in that particular discussion. But I think in life, really only 10% of stuff is truly important, and the rest you'll find is not. If you can look at the change that they're asking you to make, and yes, it seems irritating, you're frustrated with it, you have questions about it, but you can go, if that's the worst thing about where I work, I love my pay, I love my benefits, I love the people I work with, I love my job for the most part. If that's the worst thing, really, it's not all that bad, then the conversation with your boss should be, "Boss, here are my reservations, here are my concerns, here's the data behind why I think that way. But you know what, if the company's going this way, I will commit to you to take my team in that direction. I'm committed to giving this 100% effort and making that shot." And then when you get to your team, you don't have to say you lie. You can say, "Team, here's the things, what questions do you have? We all may have questions, and the truth is, here's why the company's doing it, and here are the benefits that we see coming from this particular initiative. They're not 100% guaranteed, but we're not going to find out until we give it a 100% shot. This effort requires our commitment, and I will tell you, team, that I'm committed to seeing this through. And I need you to be as well." See, the cool thing about commitment is giving it 100% despite how we think and what we feel, is that commitment produces outcomes. You see, the thing that's really bad about non-commitment is you never really get an outcome because nobody ever really tried. And environments that do not require and ask for commitment tend to be ones that are frustrating places to work in because you're not going anywhere. Sometimes you'll find out that as you commit to something, the outcome teaches you something. There were a few times where I thought, if you don't know, this is the worst idea ever. But when I got the outcome, it was like, wow, I guess it wasn't. And it built me up in it, and I grew from committing to stuff. The other outcome is it's going to show you that you were right, and you don't go back and say I was right because they're going to be able to tell you that 9 times out of 10 coming back your way. But it just validates the information that you have. Commitment drives outcomes, and outcomes drive data. Whether it was a good outcome or a bad outcome, it taught you about what you need to do more of, because what you did proved that it was right, or what you did was obviously not the thing to do, and so you may take a different approach, which will bring you closer to success. If you don't agree with change that's coming down in your organization, congratulations, you're human. That's a part of all of us. I'm going to ask you to decide whether you can commit or not. And if you can truly commit, I'm going to ask you to, and then go and ask your teams for the same commitment. Have yourself a great day.